because Dash works so fast, we have like instant transactions on both chains. You can actually have stuff in a private pool on this chain and then transact bridge out as fast or maybe faster in some cases, as if and with as good or maybe even better privacy as if you just had a privacy feature on this chain. So there might not be a need for a privacy feature at all on the core chain in the future if we can interplay between these two things. And that this is a whole can of worms and no one's figured it out yet. Obviously, we internally, people like myself and the developers have to figure what our options are. And ultimately, we would have to go to the DAO for an actual vote to say, hey, you voted to add this feature to improve Dash's privacy on the core chain. But this absolute madman of a developer built this crazy thing in a short amount of time that works better. What do we do? Like, what should we do? Should we change plans? Should we do this? The good thing, the one thing that's also sticking kind of, at least in my mind, let me just speak for myself here because there's so many people out there with so many opinions and the DAO ultimately decides. But there is an increasing call around the world for, regulations of privacy. And I know India's done some bans. I know the Emirates have. I know, obviously, the EU. This is the thing that people don't, maybe it's not publicized too well, but we did talk to lawyers after I saw the new anti-money laundering regulation that came out late last year, that basically the conclusion is any cryptocurrency that has a privacy function cannot be traded on centralized exchanges in the EU starting middle of next year. And so that's like a lot of things getting nuked from centralized exchanges in Europe. That sucks, right? So we were kind of thinking, well, according to what we know, Dash falls under this because we do have explicit, privacy features. And so it's like, all right, so are we just going to walk away from the EU market entirely or just go underground, just be everywhere else in the world?
Ooh.
It's so
wrong one.
Idea, it's all right.
Sorry about that. Hey, hi, I'm here.
Yes, but so if there is also, and I'm just thinking out loud here because I haven't talked to a lawyer and I don't even know if the network wants this, but if you had a completely transparent, no privacy feature main chain, but you could just go between them in a single transaction, then maybe you qualify for legal loophole in most of the world, that then now the main chain is available everywhere and all you have to do is press one button and now you're in a completely state-of-the-art private pool somewhere else as soon as you buy from an exchange. Maybe we go that route. Maybe that doesn't work. Maybe the regulators say, I don't care if it's a completely different network and you can run infrastructure that just sees one chain. That doesn't work. So we'll have to figure it out, right? And as always, a DAO is a DAO and we have to vote on things if there are major changes like that. So there's a lot of uncertainty, which typically is not a good thing. In this case, it's a great thing because we're getting significant improvements and they really change our choices, right? Because before that, it would be like, okay, well, we kind of need to have privacy for our users. We're not going to not do that. So maybe we just have to say bye to places like the EU for a while. And now it's like, well, you mean we can get better privacy and maybe also not get delisted anywhere? Like maybe we have the option for a win-win. I don't know. But again, something we'll have to figure out.
Is your user base concentrated in certain areas of the world, or are you noticing that it's mostly spread out? Because I think that would sort of determine what you ultimately do, right?
Yeah. Well, it depends. Present and addressable market are obviously two different things as well, even if we weren't in the EU. But I think the heaviest user concentrations seem to be US, Western Europe, Latin America, particularly Venezuela, and the Russian-speaking part of the world. And I think that like the Russian language is the second most by big margin on like the Dash website and things like that. It's so, but of course, cryptocurrency for transactions is not exactly illegal in Russia. So there's a lot of Russian-speaking users who are probably in other countries somewhere. Again, what's closest to Russia? The rest of Europe, right?
Right.
So, yeah, it's as far as like losing the EU market is not a good thing, I don't think. But it's not. it's not just the EU, right? It's the Emirates, it's India, it's other places like that. And then also on the side of my brain, I'm always just thinking like, how much do we need centralized exchanges anyway? Because everything is moving
Yeah,
so far in the DEX way,
exactly.
and obviously you have to make deals you have to make while you have to make them. But what about when you don't have to make them?
Right, right.
Well, it's funny we're talking about exchanges, and Bedell, welcome, appreciate you being here. He's like, well, how can I buy Dash in the US? Well, it's go right to Coinbase because it is currently on Coinbase. No VPN necessary because he asked about a VPN here, but even from the US, you could use a decentralized exchange, the Maya protocol, right? Is there anything else I'm
Yeah.
forgetting? Joel,
Well, there's
anyone?
nothing you're forgetting, but there's something that's going to be announced this week, and I'm just going to keep it quiet for that. But
Oh, so we should have had you on later in the week. Oh,
well, basically, I'm just teasing a DEX integration that we should have gone live on Friday, but there was some like, oh yeah, we got to get this thing figured out ahead of time, but so it's just a matter of time. So you'll see it, and I'll tag you in it, I'm sure.
yeah, please, absolutely.